bunch of killing going on all over the place, right? And all these people complaining that nobody does nothing. And then when there are people who are trying to do something, you just call them crazy and pretend it ain't happening. And then you get on and you complain about it happening. You treat the victims like they're crazy. Or you support locking them up for being victimized. Locking up rape victims for what? For prostitution? No, it's rape. That is exactly what it is. When an underage girl is abducted from her home and forced to perform sexual favors, that's called rape. God. And we got this lady here who killed one of her twin daughters. Imagine what it's like for Alicia Bollinger having to go through life without her twin sister. Natalie's best friend was Alicia Bollinger. I was speaking with the guy here at the front register. I told him, I got anxiety. There's a lot of people in here. I'm using your internet, and I would rather be a customer and use the internet than get in trouble or be a loiterer or anything like that. He said he appreciated it. See if I had my recording device on at the time. Fuck, I didn't. Otherwise, I could play it for you. Anyway, he's gonna bring out my dinner in a to-go bag when it's ready. He's fine with me staying out here and eating it. He asked me if I needed anything, water or anything like that. I said no. And I was telling him about when my lid to my coffee shot through my window. And I was like, yeah, the officer said he came in here and checked your cameras. He said, yeah, it was the craziest thing. We took a look at it. He was thinking somebody shot something through your window. We took a look and no, something shot right out of it. I explained to him that it was lid off my coffee. There was apparently it's a cold thermos. It's supposed to keep stuff cool. You're not supposed to stick hot stuff in there when it's got a plastic lid and a metal dewar. D-E-W-A-R, not D-O''E-R, just so you know. But he was telling me, yeah, he's the one that was looking at the video with the officer. I said, yeah, the craziest thing, like I thought somebody shot into my vehicle. I was looking for bullet holes because, I heard this explosion and then, I see this little puff of smoke and it wasn't actually smoke. It was just a byproduct of the pressure in it all at once. There's a video of the big mess that my coffee container made too. Like it pressurized it. It was a goo when it came out. Like I'd never seen such a thing. But it's on camera. Not it going through my window. I mean, it's on camera, but he was explaining to me that it takes a subpoena. They're not even allowed to give it to the police without a written piece of paper. And that makes things real complicated. If you're at a place and you need to be able to catch somebody real quick, or you need to have access to that evidence of things that have been done to you, and you got to go through 3 acts of God, 2 miracles, a fat Valkyrie, a scrawny Valkyrie, and of course, everything in triplicate for the United States government, paid for by your tax dollars. Thank you very much. Where did it get us? 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a shit ton of money for free. What are they doing to earn that money? Just taking it. Promising you they're going to do something, just never following through. Anyway, I told the guy that take a $5 tip and give it to whoever it is that's going to be bringing it out to me. And I bought the cheapest breakfast on the menu. It's $5.99, so $6. There's also a gentleman here who was a witness to the situation with Molly, as well as somebody who was fed up with her shit. Everybody down here was fed up with her shit. But she just kept doing it. Didn't stop. That's the thing that sucks about being a male. When you're being abused, Molly did that for over a month. Over a month. Because nobody wanted to get involved, even people that were already involved. Number one rule on the streets, you never go to the cops. Why don't you go to the cops? Because nobody's going to go with you, which means the cops aren't going to do their jobs. They're going to victimize you just like everyone else. They're people. People hold bias, and those bias get people killed. It's just a fact. Your assumptions get people killed. You want to call them conclusions, but conclusions to what? On what basis? What information have you looked at? Have you listened to somebody and just taken their word for it? Or have you looked at all sides and all evidence? Is it some situation where I was just pretending that people were harming me? And then later on they actually did? Later on these people harmed me because I spoke out? No. I didn't speak out for no reason. That's the thing, is that I'm not going to go complaining about something that didn't happen. And then when people continue to do it, this is the real kicker. These very same people that I had to go back to for help, that I was sent to repeatedly for help. Go to these people, go to those people. I've already been, they broke the law. What do you want me to do? Go in alone? All right, next time what do you want me to do? Because I can't just keep going in alone. This is getting ridiculous. Oh, I'll go in with you next time. Just set up the appointment. All right, so I set up the appointment. Did you go in with me next time? No, you didn't. Always some excuse last minute. There's people like Caitlin Tatum. She doesn't deserve none of this. First of all, she never deserved a friend as good as me. Back in the day. Nobody deserves a man who's that good to people. Nobody. And I wasn't just good to the women, I was good to the men. But after Natalie died, people wanted to look the other way. They didn't care who died. It didn't matter. Natalie Marie Bollinger got a 9mm through her head. The hands of Joseph Michael Lopez. Now what was she doing at the time? Trying to play victim. You know, some people say that Natalie didn't actually intend on having somebody blow her head off. Well, I can believe that. I can believe she actually wanted help, but the only person she was going to get that help from in her life was somebody like me. And I'm sorry, folks, but there's only one of me to go around. I've spent my entire life helping others. When people say I just need to worry about me, you know what? You're absolutely right. I do need to worry about me, and I do worry about me. I also worry about my little sister while you're pretending that I'm being selfish. I've had to endure this since 2016. People threatening to kill me, but worse, threatening to kill my sister. That's not cool. It's not okay. That's not all right. People threatening to kill my niece. That's not cool. That's not all right. People threatening, harassing, and intimidating my loved ones, and I'm not supposed to have any sort of reaction to this. I'm supposed to say, thank you, sir. May I have another? Hoo-ah. So, what kind of world are we living in, folks? What kind of world have you created for your children? I say your children because I don't have any. And I say that you've created because you're the one who is allowing these things to happen. You're the ones who are not working together. You're wanting to say this group or that group deserves human rights more than another. And no victim left behind, not even if they're male, not even if they're white, not even if they're Native American, not even if they're Christian, not even if they're atheist. Every human being is a human being and deserves the rights that, according to, first of all, our Constitution, but also we've got several institutions, multinational institutions, that are supposed to do something about human rights violations. No offense, but I got enough evidence on my YouTube alone to show that there are rampant human rights violations nationwide. That our poor here are forced to live in worse conditions than those in Mexico City. And the tent cities and cardboard cities that surround Mexico City, they're at least allowed to live there. What do we have here? Where did I put my pull string? I'm working on a project. Looks creepy, don't it? Yeah, it's not finished yet. It's going to be even more creepy, but it's pretty cool. I like making things. Hello, my name is Schwartzy, and I like to make drawings and other things. Where did I put it? Ah, there it is. This is one of the twisty ties that's on the bigger wire. Before I want to put something together and assemble it, I want to test out different concepts and see what different types of weaves and twists are going to work better for what. Now this one right here, I want to make it like an ostrich toe, basically. So I got to figure about the spots where I need to have the control. And of course, that requires just a little bit of effort. Let's see what we're doing here. If you get everything lined up and twisted the way that you need it, you don't have to worry about it later on. Now, one of the reasons for having a big hole for it to go through is because I also, this limb here on the front is supposed to be where the claw would go on a velociraptor. I found a tube of silicone on the side of the road, and I figured I could use that silicone for making a silicone claw. Sure, it'll look weird because it'll be white instead of what you guys might expect it to be, brown or black. But the other thing is I'll have to make a mold, and I'll have to make the mold out of mud, and it'll have to be wet mud because we don't have any of the proper type of sand to do a proper casting. With wet mud, however, it's not really going to stick that well to the silicone. However, it will stick a little. It'll help to discolor the white silicone, and that's a good thing. That'll help it to look a little less. Well, they're going to stick out like a sore thumb no matter what. Every other part of the costume I'm making is black. And there's a purpose to it. Gotta have some sort of artistic expression. Things that I design, I got sick of drawing pictures of people's dead grandmas all the time. I just got sick and tired of it. And not getting paid. Man, that sucked too. Alright, so let's see. Yep, I screwed that up just a little bit. Alright. A little more like a chicken butt. Anyway, you gotta get the angles good and proper. I'm sorry about that, folks. It's the angle I gotta hold it at. And also the fact that I readjusted this improperly. Just barely closed. Alright, there we go. That's much better. Same thing with this one. It keeps it from overextending, and it's kind of the purpose, because what's going to end up happening is for the control to make the foot move the way that I want it to, it'll actually be a T-bar with one end of the lanyard. Here, I'll turn it around this way. There's got to be a way to do this. So, the red thing here, that's a rubber band, and that's simulating the tension on the other side when I pull on this. But in reality, this is a T section, and this part right here is actually going to be where the bar is, or of course it won't be actually here. It'll be up closer to where the foot is, because the angled piece that I have for the foot, this will all be able to go through it as a guideline on the bottom and the top, and I'll be able to actually use very stiff wire. Let me show you the wire I'm using for it. This will actually be the control wire through the foot, so that I can help to control how the foot actually moves. And this is the thickness of the wire I'm going to be using. And this is the little test piece. Now, of course, it's going to be a double wide, or a triple wide, sorry, because there's going to be 3 front toes. I'm also going to have a small dew claw interior, and then I'm going to have an anterior dew claw as well. It'll actually be a rear toe, basically, for rearward support, but that way, if I move my foot with the control pivot on it, and that control pivot, basically that control T-rod that I was telling you about, that's going to be the pad that my foot steps on, and the pivot is in the center of my foot. So when my foot rocks up or down, it's going to move the chicken toes up or down. I'll basically be able to move the foot part similar to way it would actually be moving if it was my foot. It'll look like a chicken doing it, though. It'll actually look like a chicken running if somebody who's able to run gets into it. I can't run, so I'm going to set it up as a stiff line, which means that I'll be able to put a couple of control rods in it and give it a far less range of movement, and then I'll have to be able to tweak and adjust a couple of parts at the top, because, well, I need to be able to have it so it's, oh, thank you, ma'am.
I didn't want to knock on your door to startle you.
Oh, you totally rock. Thank you.
Yeah, have a great night.
You will do. So this is the kind of stuff that I try to keep my mind occupied with. Just because I'm stuck in my vehicle doesn't mean I can't do something to make the world a better place, you know? Oh yes, biscuits and gravy. And a cool container. Alright. Oh shite, lots of stuff. Alright, I got my Dennys. So they were pretty chill here. One of the things I was doing with this, it is, like I said, it's a test piece. It's too bad I don't have something white to hold over it permanently, or I do have a better light. What am I thinking? Just a matter of digging it out. Anyway, I figured, I'd explained to the manager here that I was hoping somebody would, was a witness and had seen it happen. He was telling me that he saw it on camera, which is cool, but he was saying he can't do the releasing of the camera thing because subpoena and all that. But yeah, seriously, it was thermodynamics that blew my windshield out, or my window out. I guess I can show you what it's called a saddle stirrup. It's the type of twist that it is, and I'll show it to you. It's gonna basically be the front end of the shin guards, and hopefully if I do it right, I'll be able to make it so that my chicken foot actually comes off of, you see how as long as I hold it, it'll stay there. Ah! As long as I hold it, it'll stay folded like that. And I used something with a wire in it instead of a string. That way if I bend it over, it'll actually hold the way that I want it to, which is nice. But of course, the rubber band wouldn't actually be there. It would literally be this here, which probably don't seem to make much sense to y'all, but it's actually a matter of control and rigidity of the toes, which is what this is supposed to simulate. Now the part that would have the claw on it is actually a test piece for a different type of knuckle, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to just make some really thick chicken toes like that or not, but I figured I ought to start with a keyframe to test it out. That way if there's some adjusting I got to do, or I got to make it wider, at least I've tested it out instead of committing to the big stuff that makes my hands hurt even trying to mess with it. We got some more stuff to do, so I'm going to get on the preparation for the next video. And of course, I was able to get the internet here working, which is good for me. I'm gonna eat my dinner, and you probably don't want to listen to that. I'll probably belch and fart too, so you know how we end these videos. Good to be ready. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.